Welcome back to another episode, guys. On this one, we are going to do some more work on the R32 Skyline on the wiring harness.
Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, get the air. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him like and run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage.
So under here, what we have is the wiring Specialties wiring harness. If you've seen one of the episodes I did on it, on the unboxing of this, and damn, it's nice. It's got all this freaking cool braid, heat shrinks, and brand new connectors, which I've never experienced, so that's really cool. The other day, I chucked it in the car and I put it up through this grommet that they supply. Goes through that grommet there and then up through this hole here. And mate, getting all those connectors through that grommet wasn't too bad. It's just very fiddly and time consuming, and yeah, we made it in the end. We got it through, which is good. So I am a little bit concerned though, because where that grommet is right where your wheel, or my wheel, is gonna rub. So hopefully there's enough clearance there. Like, surely it will be. I'm just a bit paranoid about brand new harness getting rubbed through and destroyed. But fingers crossed, we'll check it out before we actually freaking send the car. But yeah, the next stage of what we are doing next is running this harness across where it needs to go and plug it into everything. So there's a whole bunch of plugs. I thought it would be a lot less plugs involved in it, but apparently. How cool is this freaking engine looking, man? Oh my god. Oh my god. Looks so sick. Xavier's welded on a little elbow onto here. He's gonna make that fit on the new turbo there. We've got the Pulsar. Oh, I also forgot to mention, this is the Pulsar G30 770. Pretty sure that's right. Which is what the owner recommended I get for an RB25 with the horsepower I'm after. I'm after about 400 low boost, 500 high boost, like nothing crazy, but I want that response. So hopefully this new G series freaking turbo can get us there. It's pretty exciting. But yeah, what we're gonna do, run this harness across here and then plug it into all your sensors, and pretty much sensors and the injectors. So this harness is custom made. I went through on the website, there's like 1,000,001 freaking questions, and you answer them all specific for your car. So this one, obviously I selected RB25 in an R32 chassis, and then yeah, all the different options you can possibly imagine. Hopefully it lines up, like the lengths and stuff, because there's a couple of things, I don't know how they would know the length because of where you mount the things, like the oil pressure sensor. Guessing that's going to be the length of the stock one, which might not work. So there's a couple of things I'm probably still going to have to change on this harness, even though it's like custom as and super expensive, which is shit. But let's just plug it in, see how it goes. But yeah, it's exciting because once you plug the harness in, do the battery, pretty much ready to start it, which is crazy. First start of this thing is gonna be nuts. I was actually just driving along the other day and my D-Max just cruising auto, so boring. And I just imagined myself driving the R32 and just doing skids, like, and I was getting really G'd up. I was getting so excited. So yeah, it's starting to feel a lot closer now, and yeah, it's gonna be a dream come true to drive this thing one day. Hopefully soon. Let's get stuck into it so we can make that happen sooner. If you're new here to the channel, hit the like button, drop a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and also we got merchandise. It's got the R32 shirt, it's got the S13 and the 180SX. Yeah, if you want to support the channel, check out the merchandise. The link is in the description below. Society Apparel, those guys are awesome. Check it out. But yeah, let's get right into the wiring harness. Okay, holy shit, there's a lot of wiring. It's pretty cool. All these, they're all freaking wired, all labeled really good. Like, how cool is that? Ground, bam. And then what's this wire? You pretty much tell by that plug if you're familiar with RBs. But it says alternator on there, bam. Everything's labeled really freaking nicely. So I kind of just like laid it out here. Try not to scratch the shit out of everything with a towel there, but I'm gonna have to try and get it down in the back there and feed it underneath the intake plenum. So it's a bit of a tricky freaking job. But I've laid it out so that it actually has a gearbox loom there with the neutral and speed sensor plug, so that's cool. It's got that. I've got the boost solenoid going that way, just out of the way. Your coil packs, injectors, and then your TPS and ground and a couple other bits and pieces like the air intake temperature sensor, bloody, what do you call it? Yeah, so they're all labeled, makes it really easy. And then I got the oil and oil pressure, temp, and fuel pressure. So I got it all laid out, so it's kind of like I can just do each sub harness and take them down under. There's a bunch of ones I have to plug in right at the bottom there for your air idle freaking valves and shit for your cold start. So kind of laid it out. Now I'm gonna try and feed it in and plug some shit in. Here we go.
Ready to explore right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are.
Alright, so I underestimated the difficulty of that times 100. Basically, there's a sub harness that comes underneath this forward facing plenum and comes across and powers all these bits and pieces. So to get that through up under there is actually only a passageway about this big, and to poke all the connectors in there really difficult. I actually had a look at the instructions and it said wrap a plastic bag around the end of your harness, so around just loosely but also not too loose around your connectors, and then just pass it on through. That didn't work, but it did make it easier to get them all through in one go. And then I just tied on this flexi magnet that I have, and I just passed it up through there and then pulled it through slowly and freaking like massaged the bag, the ball bag, until it like all went through, and then we just pulled it straight through there. So now I am going to take the bag off and figure out where these wires go. Alright, so we're making some really good progress here. It was a little bit tricky getting that through, but once it's through, like, the tight spots, mate, you're pretty good. Just plug the label in where it goes. Alright, so I pretty much got as far as I could with plugging in the wiring Specialties harness. I need my sensors, and then that'll be I don't want to say that'll be it for the engine bay. There's still a grounding harness that I have over here. There's a grounding harness here, and then also the fan relay harness to put in, but I don't want to do those just yet because of a few other things. That's the Haltech harness that I bought that I'm not going to use because it's just a fly lead. Like, you have to terminate every plug and you have to go buy the plugs yourself. So yeah, I don't know why it's called a premium harness, because still what you have to do. It does come with a fuse box, which is cool, because that's my next thing. This harness is actually designed so that you can plug it into your stock fuse box, where I've removed my stock fuse box and the ignition barrel and all the stock stuff, right? Sorry, it's a bit late at night, so I'm pretty wrecked, but there's the Haltech 2500 in there, little ripper. I've got a few cables here I need to suss out wiring for. I'm probably going to steal the plugs or buy new plugs that match these and then run wires off them so I can disconnect the plugs, and then like have some sort of plate up here with another fuse box with some relays and whatnot, and then yeah, I'll plug in this harness to my custom fuse box that I'll make, which is going to be fun. That's sarcasm 100% of the way. I've got also another cool thing that I thought I might pull out of the box and have a look at is I've got a power tune digital dash here with the GPS and stuff. Got a freaking sweet deal on this like almost a year ago now. And yeah, I was looking at how that wires in, and I'm just going to mount the GPS on the windscreen somewhere. And also it uses the CAN system, so it's just 2 wires. I can wire that into there's some wires that come out of the wiring there, and then I was like, oh, I'll just pull out the harness that came out of the car, which is all this wiring, like all this and all this and all this, and I'll just like use that fuse box that's there. I'll just use this and like I'll just take the wires out of it that I need. I started doing that and I was like, mate, this isn't even going to work, because all I need is the headlight and the blinker. That's all I need to run up the front here, and most of that fuse box is for the ignition, which isn't even going to run to the steering column, so it's all going to be the wrong length and just old and messy anyway. So I'm doing pretty much everything brand new on the car, so I might as well do this part as well. So I stopped doing that, and I'm gonna take a photo of those plugs, order some new plugs and some wire, and yeah, I'm gonna have to run wires, somehow get it up here across to here and make it look nice so you can't see it. So that's another challenge, but yeah, once I get my sensors I can wire those in, and then that'll be pretty much a lot further along. I freaking love the wiring harness, it's really nice. Like these injector plugs, they're plugged in right now, you can't even see them at all, like anywhere, except for you can see that one wire on that first one, and then if you stand here you can see a couple of wires going through there, but look how freaking tidy that is, like you can barely even see it. It's actually gangsterized. And then the coil pack loom, it's all labelled, just sitting there at the moment. And then the main harness here, I'll probably mount that up along here somewhere, try and keep it out of the heat. Probably put some heat wrapping around it for sure, actually. I'll definitely do that. But yeah, I've got another episode coming out soon about the crank angle sensor, because we've got something cool going on with that. So stay tuned for that episode. We've also got power steering lines to do, some more welding, and yeah, there's always more stuff to do, a lot more wiring to go. I got to get the radiator sorted with the fans and the battery in the boot, finish off the fuel lines, the fuel tank. I've got to buy a fuel tank. I'm going to go with the bigger one than that one that's in there, and then that's pretty much it. We can start it after that. We're wiring the start button, and then I'm going to do like seats and a steering wheel, and then we're good. Harnesses, fix the windows, make them go up and down, new mirrors, and then body kit and stuff. It's still a lot of shit, like a lot of shit, but we're making progress. Feels a lot closer. I'm going to wrap this one up here. It's hard to film the wiring stuff because it's so long, it takes forever. to muck around feeding wires and plugging them in, reading that one, you know, blah blah blah. So it's hard to film it, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. I'm really not enthusiastic because I'm about to go to bed. It's really tired, really freaking late at night. But yeah, appreciate you guys for sticking around, watching another episode, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.